Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to talk about a fundamental topic in commercial and contractual transactions, the performance guarantee, also known as performance bond, PB. I will explain what it is, how it works, and in which situations it can be applied. What is a performance guarantee? A performance guarantee is a type of bank guarantee issued by the seller to the buyer, with the aim of ensuring that all contractual obligations will be fulfilled. Basically, it works as a safety net for the buyer, ensuring that if the seller fails to deliver what was promised, the buyer will be compensated. How does it work? In a transaction, especially in high-value or long-term contracts, there is always a risk that the seller or supplier will not deliver the product or service as specified. To mitigate this risk, the buyer can request a performance guarantee. This document is issued by a bank or financial institution and guarantees that, in the event of default by the seller, the bank will assume responsibility for compensating the buyer. Generally, the performance guarantee is issued for 2% of the total contract amount. This amount can be adjusted depending on the complexity of the agreement. The idea is that, if the seller fails to fulfill his obligations, the surety company or the bank issuing the guarantee will assume the cost to cover the loss or compensate the buyer. Guarantee amount. Generally, the performance guarantee is issued for 2% of the total contract amount. This percentage can vary depending on the sector or the level of risk involved. For example, in construction contracts, where the risk of delays and failures is greater, the amount can be adjusted according to the complexity of the project. When is it used? The performance guarantee is triggered by the buyer if the seller fails to fulfill the contractual obligations. This may include failure to deliver a product, services that do not meet the agreed standards, or even unilateral termination of the contract. By triggering the guarantee, the buyer receives financial compensation, minimizing losses. The importance of performance guarantees. This type of guarantee is essential to bring security to commercial negotiations, especially in sectors such as civil construction, supply of capital goods, and infrastructure projects. Its existence reinforces the seller's commitment and conveys confidence to the buyer, which facilitates the closing of agreements and reduces uncertainty. Applications in different contexts. Let us now explore some situations in which the performance guarantee is used. 1. Construction and engineering. In the construction sector, the performance guarantee is extremely common. It protects the employer, who is the buyer, in case the contractor does not complete the project in accordance with the established terms. If the contractor fails to perform, the surety company covers the cost of completing the project or hiring a replacement. 2. Import and export. In international trade, a performance guarantee ensures that the importer will receive compensation if the exporter fails to fulfill its obligations. This may include delays in delivery, quality problems, or defects in the products. 3. Commodity contracts. In commodity contracts, the guarantee aims to protect the buyer, ensuring compensation if the seller fails to deliver the goods as specified. This is common in negotiations involving large volumes of goods such as oil, metals, or food. Responsibility of financial institutions. It is worth noting that the responsibility for issuing and honoring the performance guarantee falls on the issuing bank. Therefore, financial institutions carry out a careful analysis before issuing a guarantee of this type, evaluating the history and financial capacity of the seller. Benefits of performance guarantees. Performance guarantees bring numerous benefits to the parties involved. Firstly, they help to resolve any mistrust, especially in long-term and high-value contracts. In addition, they provide a form of compensation to the injured party and establish a penalty for the party that fails to fulfill its obligations. Among the main benefits for the parties involved, we can highlight 1. Protection for the buyer. Ensures that the buyer will be compensated in the event of failures or breach of contract by the seller. 2. Seller's commitment. By issuing the guarantee, the seller demonstrates his commitment to fulfilling the agreed obligations. 3. Facilitation of negotiations transmits trust between the parties, making the negotiation process safer and more stable. How are guarantees issued? Banks and financial institutions are primarily responsible for issuing performance guarantees. They conduct a thorough analysis of the seller's history and financial capacity before issuing the guarantee. Therefore, it is common for the seller to pay an annual fee to keep this security active. In short, the performance guarantee is a crucial tool in commercial negotiations and large-scale projects, bringing security and confidence to both parties involved. Whether in construction, international trade, or commodity contracts, the presence of a performance guarantee is an efficient way to ensure that commitments are honored or that the parties are compensated in the event of default. So, if you are planning a large contract, strongly consider adopting a performance guarantee to mitigate risks and reinforce confidence in the agreement. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications for more content on international financial engineering. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. And follow our Instagram at BusinessGreenBR.